I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
Have you joined the fastest growing fantasy motorsports app yet? On Grid Rival, you can join leagues with your friends and manage your own fantasy team on what race fans are calling, hands down, the best fantasy motorsport app out there. F1 and MotoGP leagues are now live for the 2021 season. Joining a league on Grid Rival will make every race more exciting, more engaging, and of course, more competitive. Download Grid Rival now on your iPhone or Android smartphone. Grid Rival is an unofficial application and not associated with Formula One, MotoGP, or any of their athletes.
Invasive species are one of the biggest issues facing our natural resources and the environment today. Think of things like Dutch elm disease, the spotted lanternfly, and cats. Perhaps the most dangerous of these is the Homo caput stercoris, commonly referred to as the front plater. An invasive species coming from New York, New Jersey, and anywhere else that has a license plate on the front of their car. The biggest threat from this pest is the spread of excrement. These savages cause harm to many native species and have even spawned an entirely new one, the Beltsville Lake Monster. Here at the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge, we have a dedicated group of volunteers working tirelessly to clean up the mess. The team of emergency responders for dispersion and skimming, or the turds. But the job is just too big, and we can't do it without your help. So be a hero, be a turd. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the National Racing Network's live coverage of our Thursday night doubleheader. This time it'll be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship coming to you live from Sebring International Raceway. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth tonight by James Watson and Sebastian Kinder. Practice just finishing up here, and I'll tell you what here, James, we'll come to you first. This has been a place that we have seen a ton of fun, one of the best finishes we've ever seen here last season.
Yeah, the long straights and the really draft-heavy nature of the track, things we say practically every week, but it's a hell of a lot more noticeable here. This place is huge for these cars. So, being able, it's going to be interesting because you're not going to get off the corners that well because you need the downforce, but you're not going to be able to put as much downforce on because of all of these straights. So, if you can get off the corners well, you'll be okay, but ain't nobody going to be getting off the corners well with that downforce and the bumps.
Well, Seb, that was the other part that I was about to mention here is this place is as bumpy as you will ever see a racetrack. And yes, it's big and it's fast. It is fairly technical as well. I mean, you go 2 through 5. It's kind of a kink, a left or right, left, right. The hairpin at turn 7 is tough. 10 to 13 can be a little bit difficult. This is not an easy place to get around, especially if you're going to run the low downforce package.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is kind of a recurring thing we have with those IP2K, with those long straights. I mean, you don't want to be having this much drag generating from the car, so you need to lower the downforce. But if you do that, you're going to struggle through the corners. So, and it kind of makes, this series great, because that means if we're putting more emphasis on low drag cars that struggle through the corners, that puts more emphasis on the driver's skill. And with this track, we'll definitely show this, because all the straights are in a row. Like you have the straight we're run right now, the one before it. Then we'll have a small complex of corners, and another one after that. Then the technical parts. It's such a good track to race on. I had a lot of fun racing it last year for the Sebring 12 hours. Yeah, I mean, this track is fun, and I think we're in for a good one.
Yeah, I mean, James, we're talking about a racetrack that has 7 sectors when you line it up here for qualifying. Following along here with Chris Preston, he is going to be one of the first cars to get a lap on the board. Working his way here through, looks like this is going to be down towards Fangio. This would be turn 9. Very sharp turn 10 here back to the right. Then you make the big sweeping left through Collier turn 11. 12 and 13 takes you out by the tower. And then it's another blast. Long straightaway down to turn 14, which is Bishop. 15, 16 to Lamont, and then you're back onto the Ullman Straight. This place really is as fast as you could want to see a racetrack. And like you said, almost too fast for these PM18s.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they get through this. I'm really fascinated to see what happens in the first sector of the track, because that's when you're the tightest, that's when it's the bumpiest, and that's when we're more likely going to see mass chaos and death.
Destruction, welcome to your doom. One mistake and it's the wall, buddy. I have to bring it back.
Not a lot of runoff here, that is for sure, as we see Chris Preston go to the top of the charts. 1 minute 55.582. Simon Sykes going to jump just ahead here. John Betafer, 154.7. That's a heater. Betafer is your points leader heading into tonight as well. 886 points. 34 up on Ted Burns, who just went second quick. Everett Paddock, third on the board in qualifying, third in points. He's only 43 back. David Porcelli, currently fourth in points. He's 64 back. We're talking about a 4-horse race as we're getting to the halfway point here. This is going to be wild in terms of the point standings coming down the stretch here. Bueller. They'll jump in eventually. All right. Ed Samborski moving up to second quick, and he's carrying the number 1 here tonight. That's a new name for National Racing Network fans. Let's pick up the number 1 of Samborski very quick. 154.986. Going to be the official lap time for Samborski on his first lap.
I remember correctly, I think I've seen Edward in a lot of the Formula 3.5 race. He's stupid quick in those cars, so it's interesting to see him out here and see what he's going to do in this car.
Having done an entire season of FR 3.5 on OWL, I can say that those cars, they're not so easy to drive, so if he's blistering quick on those cars, he's really that good.
Yes, Ed Samborski, he of the 73.42 iRating. Good Lord, the man is a monster. The number 2 belongs to Graham Sanders, also of 7,000 iRating fame. Sanders currently back 16th in qualifying. That's really pretty wild. Really, really surprised that we don't see Graham Sanders up towards the front here, and he's not on the racetrack. He's done for qualifications.
I mean, I think he must have wrecked in the second lap or gotten off track. But to Graham Sanders, that is pretty bad. That is a pretty bad qualifying for him.
Yeah, pretty bad's an understatement there. See Nagisa Yoshikawa coming across the line in 11th. One car remaining to get the lap in, and it will be the 14 of Chris Chitterling. We'll see him finish the lap, and then qualifications will be over. John Bedifer looks like he will be your pole sitter here tonight with a lap time of 1 minute 54.419.
It's just how I love how these cars are beautifully simple.
And I'll tell you what, looking at the numbers here, 114 seconds, if I'm doing the math right here, the quick time for John Bedifer, that's an average speed of 114.797 miles per hour. You're hauling the mail around this place in a pretty big way.
You are hauling a whole lot of mail around here. You're hauling the whole UPS distribution center.
I'm going fast!
Zach Evans checking in. These laps are slightly longer than the 18.2s we were turning in Ezra at Dover. Yes, slightly. East Raider saying, what happened to Saham D. Ganders? That must be who's driving the car tonight here. We're going to get ready to see everybody line up here, and it's going to be go time for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Seeing John Bedifer getting himself out onto the grid now.
Okay, so you were mentioning Gateway, no, not Gateway, Dover, and I'll be mentioning to you that I was feeling numb, just not conscious in the final few laps. So much, it was insane.
Yeah, I would imagine a little bit of vertigo possibly from 150 caution-free laps, but we'll get to that one in a little bit here. Let's get you your starting lineup. John Bedifer and Everett Paddock lining up on road number 1, only a quarter of a second separating those two over the 3.6 miles of this racetrack. Ed Samborski, Chris Preston on row number 2, David Porcelli, and Ted Burns on row 3. Jeremy Rogers, Nicholas Daly on row 4, Simon Sykes, and Frank Wynn starting tonight on the 5th row. Nagisa Yoshikawa and Kylo Ciacelli on row 6. Row 7 will see Brian Labarge and Christopher Chitterling. Mike Holler, Andrew Berry on row number 8. Row 9, Graham Sanders and Rod Eskew. Keep an eye on the 2 with Graham Sanders to make a big-time charge to the front of the field here. Russ Addy, Simon Fell on row 10. Row 11, Jason Owens and Michael Carpenter. Rounding out the 22-car field. 44 in total on the entry list.
Hashtag blessed.
I'll tell you what, guys, and James, you can really speak to this. We weren't sure what the numbers were going to do here for the PM18s this season. This car and this series is strong right now. It is not seeing the F3 fixed numbers. But I'll tell you what, for a kind of a niche open wheel car, I'll take a 40-car strength of field top split every day of the week.
Yeah, this is amazing. The participation we're getting in the season, and some of these tracks that we were nervous about. I was not expecting to get this many cars for a race at Sebring, and the same thing last week for Brands Hatch as well. This is a beautiful thing to see.
Yep. As soon as we get the graphics update here, we'll show you the license details on these cars because It is impressive, quite frankly. Strength of field 34.59 for this one, all the way from the 73.42 of Ed Samborski down to Simon Fell, of all people, 22nd, carrying the number 22, at a 23.75. It almost 2,500 iRating doesn't get you into the top split, or very close. You got to be right about 2,500 to make the top split here. Looking forward to a very exciting 15 laps here at Sebring. A 10th of the lap count as we just saw for Ezra at Dover. But it's going to be over in about the same amount of time, if you can believe it. Field getting ready to make that quick little kink here out of Sunset Bend, at least very shortly anyway here. That was Le Mans there, and we are going to be getting ready to go racing here very shortly.
The guy in the Porsche must have the time of his life.
Yeah, just putting around here at the front of the field.
Okay, so Andrew just said that apparently Barnsley people have started to wreck you.
Field making their way down the Ullman Straight, and now they're going to make that right-hand turn into Sunset Bend. This is where we saw some of the best action and one of the gutsiest passes I have ever seen, diving way up the inside of Sunset. This track is draft locked, basically from the exit of turn 13 all the way to turn 1. Sunset Bend is, it looks deceptively sharper, I guess, than it is. We're going to see the pace car pull in and get ready to go, and as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. John Bennett for holding on to the early lead. Big time battle back there for 5th.
Woo! Oh.
Porcelli side by side with Samborski. They'll stay that way.
Not a good start for Samborski. He got a bit of a argy-bargy with a 9 car.
Yeah, getting into it a little bit there with Chris Preston.
Whoa.
Oh, and he's going to go around. Samborski goes around.
Mamma mia, that's not a good start for him.
Finally able to get that car moving again, but Ed Samborski now down 19 positions. He's got some work to do. Mike Collar going to be battling here with Russ Addy. This is the fight for 15th. Holler not going to be one to give that spot up early. And again, back here to the front of the field, no surprise. Your top 4 in the championship running 1, 2, 4, 5, separated only by Chris Preston, who's currently leading the points in Division 2.
Yeah, it's insane start from Chris Preston. Like, I think he went 3 wide in turn 1 or something like that. He's really aggressive, and it shows. Like, he's pretty fast.
Yeah, look at that. Let's go. He is right on them.
Ooh.
Preston
that's
down
beautiful.
to the inside at turn 1. That's a gutsy pass on Everett Paddock.
Wow.
Ooh, better for the grass.
That is a thing of beauty.
That was beautiful.
That was like effortless. Even though it was very much the opposite of effortless.
Yeah, he made it look good, that's for sure. And it's going to put Preston up into the second position. Kylo Ciacelli now battling with David Porcelli. Porcelli going to give up another spot here. You wonder if that contact didn't maybe do a little bit of damage. Oh, what a save, Kylo.
Oh, I thought he was yeeting David into the guardrail. That was gnarly.
Again, these guys, they're the freaking best in the world, so.
Right in this battle is Graham Sanders. He's getting the work done, already up 7 at the start of this race. No surprise. I mean, the geodesic guys put a lot of time in this car. They get the setup right, and ultimately it's really just a matter of, trying to execute here in the race. Sanders going to have a whole lot of executing to do.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Ciacelli loose again.
I can't imagine Graham is really used to being in this position.
Yeah, James,
Yeah,
I mean, you're battling cars that you don't normally race with. It's not like you have the familiarity of running with Preston and Paddock and all here at the front of the field.
No, and I also wonder if the cars around him are like, is that Graham? Can't be Graham. What's he doing with us? What?
Yeah, really. What's he doing back here with the
Ciacelli.
Heathens? Wow. Huge
Well,
battle back behind him. Yoshikawa, Chitterling, Berry, and Ciacelli. This is good, but man, the racing at the front, just as intense. Preston, Paddock, Burns, running 2, 3, 4, and quite frankly, plastered to each other's rear ends. Paddock going to have the look on Preston.
Ooh, this is what Bitterfer wants, is seeing those guys fight.
Yeah, that lead already out to 1, but we'll call it a full second over Everett Paddock, and it's Preston going to lose another spot here to Ted Burns. It's almost 2 seconds now between Betafer and Preston in 4th.
Whoa.
Oh, chill out, Chris. Chill out. you have more opportunity later.
Yeah, we're a little bit early to be losing our minds here. Take a look
Big shout out
overhead
to-
from the NRN drone.
Big shout out to Simon Sykes. He's 5th with the number 16 car. That's insane.
Yeah, Simon having a good
Wow.
run here, up, and he's up 4 from the start of the race. So did benefit a little bit from Ed Samborski's issue that he had. By the way, Samborski setting the fastest lap of the race last time by. 1:55.662. The quick lap time for Ed Samborski. So he's trying to charge his way through, but he is going to have a lot of work to do. Slide back here, pick up this battle once again. Nagisa Yoshikawa, Kylo Ciacelli, Mike Holler, Russ Addy. Holler having the look on Ciacelli down towards turn 1. Going to try to do it the hard way on the outside. Holler keeps it on the racetrack. That's a gutsy pass outside of 1.
Yeah, overtakes here are not for the faint of heart. You're going to have to put your junk on the table if you want to get any sort of move done.
What?
Yes, nut up and ball out, as they say. And hey, well, quite frankly, it's really the only way to do it. The technical parts, you really, I mean, this place is custom made for attacking styles of driving. Long straightaways, heavy braking zones, and really get after it into the corners.
In the meantime, Simon Sykes over to Chris Preston for 4th. The little light is feisty.
I say, we'll take a look here, get you a look at that one on the replay. Nice clean pass down to the inside. That's how you get the job done. John Bedifer only has half a second now on Everett Paddock.
It's probably one of the things I don't really like is when people weave in the straight. I mean, I do it too. He got kind of loose there. Yeah, a lot of weaving in the straights, as we'll see it again.
I know it's a tactic to break the draft and all, but that to me, it should be part of the game, is holding somebody behind you without making the car 8 lanes wide.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, snakes on the racetrack or snakes on the plane.
I have enough.
You don't get another one.
Oh,
Jason Owens going around. Oh, and then it beached.
Oh,
what a heartbreaker. Kept it out of the wall, but Jason Owens gets that car beached up. And, well, the 2-second lead is gone now. John Bedifer with a third of a second over Everett Paddock. Paddock a third of a second ahead of Ted Burns. And that next battle right behind him, still good. Preston and Porcelli get a battle.
He's on the inside. He got him.
Oh. Such a gutsy pass there. I mean, I've said that word several times here tonight, guys, but James, maybe you can speak to it. It takes a lot to see. You can see the hole. You know it's going to be there, but having that confidence to try to fill it is an entirely different story.
yeah, because it's very easy to panic. Even just the slightest little panic messes up your timing, messes up when you apply the brakes, how you apply the brakes, and it could easily go from an easy overtake to you just airmailing it through the corner and putting yourself off the track, or putting yourself into the car you're trying to pass and destroying both cars. Like, it's such a fine skill set to be able to pass. Overtaking in anything is not really for the faint of heart.
Paddock had a peek down the front straightaway and it opened the door for Ted Burns. He had to slam it closed into turn number 1. Seeing Kylo Ciacelli now entering pit lane. Looks like there may be some damage on that car, but man, this battle at the front of the field is good. And I'll tell you what, the more they snake around each other, all that's going to do is bring 4, 5, and 6 into play here.
Yeah, they're getting closer.
Yeah, look at that. And I don't know if Chris Preston is a guy you want to bring back up. We saw him make some great moves. Do you really want him to have the opportunity to make more?
And there's also the unknown factor of Simon Sykes. I mean, they rarely race with him, so he's a complete unknown. They don't know how he races. That could be very interesting.
Yeah, Sykes a C-Class license, 2577 iRating, so working his way up the food chain of the iRacing paddock, but obviously showing some skill here and doing, quite frankly, a fantastic job holding on to 3 of the best in the business in these cars. Bedifer absolutely all over the place. Down the Ullman straight. One of the big things here, Seb, in getting to the setups of these race cars, you can't totally lock it down and try to set it up purely for top speed, because this place is bumpy as a racetrack can get. You really have to set up a fair amount of spring rate in these cars as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you don't want this car to not react well to those bombs, because I can see my house from here, and the car is wrecked.
And how about it here, boys? Simon Sykes has opened up the gap on Porcelli and Preston, and he is rapidly closing in on this top 4.
That's amazing. It's always nice seeing those new names at the top.
So John Badiford continues to lead over Everett Paddock and Ted Burns. They are catching up to Jason Owens, who, after getting beached, actually was able to get back out and didn't lose a lap. Lost almost a lap, but didn't lose the full lap. So anybody that gets out of this race, he will benefit from. I'm really surprised, though, and maybe this is something in the changes that we've seen to these cars, made by iRacing. We're not seeing as many of the slingshot passes as we saw last season here.
Yeah, I wasn't very active last season, so I can't tell you.
Sykes is absolutely there at this point. He'll get the run on Ted Burns. Burns now going to have a peek on Paddock. Big dive. He tries to go 2 for 1. Burns slides it through the corner and goes around. Oh, heartbreaker for Ted Burns. Now he's going to have Graham Sanders to deal with. And that's now back 6th, 7th position.
Nah.
Wow, that is very unfortunate.
Looks like problems for Andrew Berry as well.
Yeah, he's in the pits.
Yeah, I don't see an off track or anything for him. That's going to drop Berry down to 19th. And now they have caught up to Jason Owens. Now, Owens is one of the smarter drivers here. He'll get down to the inside, out of the way.
Well, he's trying to, but they're trying to draft.
Oh, see,
that's a...
trouble for David Porcelli.
Oh, I see smoke in the background.
Oh yeah, that car is fun.
What?
Oh, that's
a
almost
wheel
like
problem.
I was going to say that's almost like he had an issue with the steering wheel or something here. Top 3 get around Owens. Oh man, Paddock almost got into the rear end of Badiford at the entry to turn 1. And here comes Sykes. He's going to have a peek.
Ooh!
Oh, Paddock slams the door. Sykes gets a little bit loose. Still alongside. Seeing Chris Preston had a little bit of an off track. He holds on to 4th. But he can't afford another mistake because he's got Graham Sanders and Ted Burns closing in on his rear wing. Sanders up 12, easily the hard charger of the race. Man, Sykes is not letting Paddock have an easy time here as we are past the halfway point. Keep the shouts and comments coming here, by the way, everybody. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and hopefully you're enjoying the show. You almost wonder how effective the snaking is when everybody knows it's coming. It's not like you're throwing a surprise on somebody and you're going to catch them off guard.
No, you're not sitting back like, oh, he moved to the wall. What is he doing? What is happening? I no longer know what to do, and I am just going to stay right here and lose speed.
This other bite back here is good.
Oh,
Chris
Lordy.
Preston, Graham Sanders, Ted Burns. Sanders and Burns want past. And you can see it. Sanders really starting to get a little bit impatient there. I would imagine, James, big strength of field race, you screw up qualifying, you're already frustrated, and now it feels like you're getting held up a little bit. That's just got to be really frustrating.
Don't say that to me after the Dover race earlier.
Oh, very smart from Sanders. Very smart.
Oh, J08 as a pick. Oh, man.
Yeah, Chris got really mad, but he can only blame himself for it. He had the time to see him and move over. Oh, some hot temper in the chat.
Fastest lap of the race now belongs to Ted Burns at a 1 minute 54.767. They're putting up almost qualifying times here, boys.
It's unreal.
That's 4 seconds faster than my times.
I haven't run any laps here this week, so I'm just going to pretend that I'm really close to their times.
Things at the front of the field getting interesting. Betafort still with Everett Paddock all over the rear wing. He's going to take the inside lane, try to block off the entry, force Paddock out to the outside. Paddock dives it right back in onto the rear wing into 1. Sykes is going to be there again. He'll try it into 3. Oh, and he got him. What a pass.
That was important and why he failed last time. He couldn't get ahead in time. Now he got ahead. Sykes ahead Betafort. I mean, I can't believe we're seeing it.
How about Sykes taking a shot at Betafort here? It's going to open the door for Paddock. Slams it right back closed again. Already down to 5 to go. We're only 25 minutes in here. Sykes on the outside.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. What a pass.
What are we seeing?
I am speechless.
This
Who
little 16
is this
guy.
guy?
This little 16 guy is showing up the best driver in IP2K in the world. How it's done. That's amazing.
He just went around the outside of the champ at Sebring. How?
I'll tell you what.
I've never seen something like this.
You know what? I mean, hey, let's get a closer look at the cars here, but you almost wonder, is he running like significantly less downforce or something? That I mean, oh man, they're almost making contact there.
Yeah, maybe he's less experienced, and maybe his lack of experience will maybe show. But let's see. He's been feisty the whole race. Let's see how he'll defend right now.
You know what? You don't know what you don't know.
Ooh.
Now Betafort going to go on the attack outside of turn 1. Trouble on the track for Chris Chitterling, but we are not getting away from the battle at the front of the field. This is insane.
They almost made contact.
And even with all this battling, they were really opening things up on Graham Sanders a little bit. Sanders is catching, but the gap from first to third, or fourth place, Graham Sanders, still sitting at 3¼ seconds.
Here comes... No.
Oh, man. But absolutely takes the nose off of Everett Paddock. This battle is good. The next one coming in right behind them. Graham Sanders, Ted Burns, Chris Preston. Betafer having the look on Sykes. Three to go, this time by the line. Again, Betafer going to have the look into one. Sykes will control the inside lane down into three. That's really where he's able to slam the door back. Not so much that he has the pace, but Betafer just has to get off the throttle before they get to turn three. Oh, man, they almost made contact. They do make contact! Paddock slides off the racetrack. Little bit of left side loving from John Betafer on the exit of the corner. That may put Paddock into no man's land. Not quite close enough to keep the draft in a big way from the front pair. And he's going to start to be caught here by Graham Sanders, Ted Burns, and Chris Preston. Well, I think I know who this Simon Sykes kid is now.
Oh?
It could be the same person. I would tend to think so. Pilot of the number 20 Legacy Autosport, Maserati Autosport entry in the USF 2000 Championship.
Oh, really?
That would make a lot of sense.
That would make a lot of sense.
Team USA scholarship recipient in 2020. Yeah, would explain a few things.
Didn't I say just yesterday that iRating isn't always the best measure of skill? When there's a lot of top-tier drivers that don't have iRating that is nearly as high as their skills should suggest?
Yeah, Porcelli Racing. David checking in here on YouTube. Don't sleep on Sykes. My wheel disconnected. I don't know why. That sucks.
That's... And James, Chris, look at this. They're all packed.
Yeah, they're right there. This is three-way shootout for the win. How about six-way shootout for the win with less than a lap and a half to go?
Oh, boy. All it takes is one little mistake from someone else, and it goes from a six-car shootout to a one-car shootout.
Big wiggle out of Betafer. They're going to be three, almost four wide down the straightaway.
God. This is what I want to see. Here comes Ted Burns. Oh, my God.
Teddy B shooting the gap. Woo!
Lick the... Oh, my God.
Ted Burns going full send. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Simon Sykes has the lead by 1.2 seconds over Ted Burns, Everett Paddock, Graham Sanders battling for a podium.
What are we seeing right now?
John Betafer one tiny slip. Betafer's back to 5th. Chris Preston's right there as well. Good Lord.
With an angry Chris Preston, who knows what... wait, he won't. Commentator's curse.
I don't think there's enough time for Ted Burns to catch Simon Sykes. Simon, if you're watching, get in the Discord here. We got to talk to you after this one.
Please, we have so
Please.
many questions.
Paddock and Beta are going to continue, and they make contact, and Paddock goes around. Everett Paddock off the racetrack. He's got about 5 seconds. Oh, man, not much time left there. And, well, it was a 6-way battle for the lead. Now it could be a one-man show. The gap down to almost a half second, though. Ted
not
Burns
enough.
is closing.
He's out of time.
Coming into the final couple of corners.
Oh, I don't know
I
about
don't
that,
think
Seb.
he's out of time. Does Burns take the big shot into Sunset Corner? Looks to the outside.
Oh, is he gonna pull the crossover?
Out of the final corner. Checkered flag is in the air. Simon Sykes wins at Sebring.
Wow.
What a finish. Ted Burns was
What?
junk and off
John
the
didn't
racetrack.
Or
John
did that
Bedifer
happen?
had an issue.
What happened?
Get you the replay here.
Wait, he... What?
You can't park there.
Yeah, basically pulled it out of line, and let's take a look. Yeah, there was an issue earlier here. Looks like Chris Preston and John Bedifer may have had some contact here. No.
No.
Bedifer,
Is he
I
out
think
of gas?
Hang on.
Is he?
no idea what happened
No.
here to John Bedifer, but he's going to fall back to ninth.
He's out of gas! He's out of gas!
He's out of gas. Wow.
Or, what the... No, I mean, he left the throttle. Eh?
I have absolutely no idea what just happened there.
No.
Yeah, he didn't run out of gas in the backstretch? What the heck was that?
Oh my goodness. Graham Sanders comes around and gets the podium. Let's recap your race results here. Simon Sykes getting the win by 58 thousandths of a second over Ted Burns. Graham Sanders comes home third, gaining 14 positions. How about this one here, boys? A total of 26 positions gained by our top 3 finishers tonight. Simon Sykes up 8, Ted Burns up 4, and Graham Sanders up 14. Oh my goodness. Sykes over Burns and Sanders for the podium. Preston and Nicholas Daly come home 4th and 5th. Ed Samborski with the recovery drive of the night, coming back to 6th after the early issue. Taking that car off the front row. Everett Paddock finishing 7th. Frank Wynn 8th. John Bedifer 9th. And Nagisa Yoshikawa in the 10th position. Mike Holler comes home 11th. Russ Addy 12th. Christopher Chitterling finishing in the 13th position. Rod Eskew in 14th. Mike Carpenter in the 15th position. 16th to Brian Labarge. 17th tonight belongs to Simon Fell. 18th, Jason Owens. 2 laps behind your race winner. David Porcelli finishing in 19th, 7 laps down. Andrew Berry finishing 20th, 8 laps behind. Kylo Ciacelli and Jeremy Rogers will round out the field here this evening. And we have our 2nd and 3rd place drivers. We need to get a hold of Simon Sykes here too. Shoot us a message here. We'll get him in the Discord. Good Lord. We'll get the instant replays ready here, and let's talk to our runner-up finisher tonight. Mr. Ted Burns, and I'll tell you what here, Ted. Ho-hum night. You finished second, gained a couple of spots. No real drama there for you, right?
That's I had it was a difficult race. It was really intense, and I had that one big mistake there, and didn't quite think I'd be able to come back from that, let alone to get a second place and have a shot at the win after going into turn 7 backwards. It was it was my mistake whenever it drove me down to the inside, and I missed my brake marker and just locked it up. And thankfully, John didn't turn in or anything, because I would have felt really bad if my mistake had cost him a shot at the race as well. And just put the head down and latched on with Graham, and was trying to kind of work together, but it was difficult because we were similar pace, and we got really lucky there at the end, and the seas kind of parted for me coming onto the back straight, and I was just able to keep the foot in it and drive through.
Well, that was going to be the next question here. At one point, you guys were 4 wide going down the back straightaway. What's going through your head at that point? Because you know somebody's probably not coming out the other side of that.
I knew I was a little ways back, and I could see John kind of dip his wheel off and start to spin the tires, and I knew that I saw Everett and Graham started to lift up, and I knew that was my only opportunity, so I just kept my foot in it flat. And I was looking to stay on the outside, thinking John might spin to the inside, but he had an incredible save, came back in, and luckily, there just was a lane that opened right in the middle, and I was like, all right, there's space, I'm going through it, and I had such a good run off the end of the corner. I knew I could clear at least one of them by the time I got down into 17, and just drove it in really deep, and somehow came out of that that ahead, and it was crazy. I can't believe that lane opened up for me.
And then finally, the last couple of corners here. At one point, our co-host Sebastian Kinder saying he's too far back, and all of a sudden we're going, nah, I don't think so. Talk us through that last couple of corners. Do you do anything different, or was Simon just kind of maybe a couple of tenths too far ahead?
I knew Simon was quick. He's really fast in a real race car, and I know he's quick on the sim as well. And so I was just focusing on trying to hit my marks. And I know the Downforce Racing guys, we focused on straight line speed this week, and I knew I had probably the fastest car in a straight line out there on track. So I knew if there was a shot, to get into his draft, that was it. And luckily I had a good run off the final corner, and was at least able to give him a shot for it, and hope he made a little mistake in 17. But he stayed very composed, and he drove a great race to the line. So congrats to Simon for the win.
Well, it was a spectacular show you guys put on tonight. Thank you very much, Ted. We appreciate it here. Let's make sure we get all your thank yous and plugs in before we let you go.
Yeah, I'd love to thank Downforce Racing for the great setups and help all week. Big shout out to my Formula Renault 3.5 teammate Eddie Samborski, who was able to come in here this week and help boost the strength of the field and provide some great tips in driving the car. Big thanks to you guys for putting on this broadcast every week, and for everyone for coming out. Especially it's cool seeing Simon in here, a guy who races Road to Indy in real life. Just for making this an even better series week in and week out, and I can't wait to see where the series goes. I'm floored. At one point I said, who is this kid? And then you do a quick Google search and you go, whoa, that's who that kid is. We are going to be talking a lot about him in the years to come. All right, Ted, thank you very much. We appreciate it here. Let's bring in Graham Sanders to wrap things up here, because I don't think we're going to get to talk to Simon. I'll tell you what, Graham, what happened in qualifying? Because somebody in the comments here saying, what happened to Sam Granders?
It's a little embarrassing, but kind of a brain fart. I kind of wanted to get a wide entry going into the final corner, and got a tad loose and ended up hitting one of the cones. I thought the car was fine, so for some reason I didn't decide to tow, and I just kept going and was wondering why I was a second and a half off pace, and then realized after qualifying that I had a ton of damage on the front end. So, but yeah, it was a good race. Pretty stressful, though. A little too stressful.
Well, I was going to say, you were running against some drivers that you don't normally compete with. I mean, you're in the same strength of field race, but you're used to being up at the front. How does that change the way you approach the early part of the race? Obviously, you cut your way through the field nicely, but it's not the same as attacking from the front.
No, definitely. I definitely had to, at least on the first lap, be very cautious. I think the first 3 or 4 corners, I think I might have been full throttle for maybe 2 or 3 seconds. I was being very cautious. I just didn't know how everyone drove. Not that everyone drove dirty. I just didn't know what to expect. So yeah, exactly. You just gotta kind of be careful, be cautious, and make your moves after you kind of see how everyone's driving.
So then we get to that final couple of laps here, and at one point you're in the middle of 3-4 wide down the Ullman Straight. And I asked the same question to Ted. What's going through your head there, knowing that usually that doesn't end well for somebody?
Yeah, I was very surprised that we all came out of that in one piece. It's unfortunate that John was the one who kind of didn't lose the car, but got a little sideways and kind of checked everyone up. But luckily, everyone came out in one piece, and it worked out.
Well, ton of fun watching you come through the field tonight. Thank you very much for putting on an absolutely epic show for us here. And let's make sure we get all those thank yous in before we let you out of here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast. It was an awesome race. I'm looking forward to watching this off. All the guys at Geodesic, Alpine Stars, GoPro, Wave Italy, everybody, and John, of course. He was giving me some tips there just before the race, and it really helped out. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, there you go. There's Graham Sanders, your third place finisher here tonight. We'll go back to the live look and show you the results here. And guys, Simon Sykes, not only is the kid a badass in the real world, but he's also one of us. He's a bit of a nerd, and I say that in the most heartfelt way I possibly can. A student at Augusta University can recite pi to 75 digits.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's according to his bio on the USF 2000 site. And we'll give him a shout-out here. We'll get the sponsor plugs in for him for the real world. Sponsored by America's Pharmacy Source, ERA, Expense Reduction Analyst, Metashare, Metalloid, and Group 6 Gear. That's a business that he owns, selling custom-fit chest and rib protectors for go-karting. So a talented, smart kid putting on a hell of a show tonight. Man, just absolutely unreal. Very cool to see Simon in the field with us here. And with that, let's wrap things up here. Where do we go? Where do we start? That race was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
Mind blown. Mind blown.
Yeah, it was... Quite frankly, it was pretty wild. We really had a lot of fun calling this one tonight, and looking forward to next week, another new venue for the National Racing Network and the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, heading off to Summit Point. We talked about if you thought Brands Hatch was a bull ring, wait for Summit Point. How about a 10-corner, 1.9-mile road course? And James, you've got laps here. I do not have any laps at Summit Point, but looking at the track map, Draft Fest 4.0 it seems like this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of these tracks on the schedule, isn't it? It's a hell of a lot tighter than what we've seen at other places like Brands Hatch, though. I'm really curious to see how everyone's going to get through those tight corners.
Yeah, that's basically going to be the key here, Seb, is it is not only small, but it's narrow as well. Qualifying and quite frankly, setting the car up and starting to prep for next week as early as you can, that's going to be a big-time key to success here next week.
It is, yeah. I've been running some laps this morning. I mean, for me, it's yesterday morning, but for you guys, it's this morning. The Lotus 49, because the Lotus 49 is right now at this. I think it's the exact same track. I may be wrong about that, but yeah, it's very narrow. There's not a lot of opportunity to pass. Like, it's only the main straight, which is quite big, but with all those tricky parts in between, you really need to not mess up your qualifying, because yeah, if you're Graham Sanders, don't hit a cone.
Yeah,
don't hit a cone.
that's the story. Another big one here is the points have updated, and we have a huge shakeup at the front of the field. Ted Burns leaving Sebring tonight as your points leader, sitting on 929 points. John Badeford drops back to second on 886. Everett Paddock is third at 860, 822 for David Porcelli. Still a four-horse battle for the championship here, but now we're really going to have to start talking about drop weeks as we get later in the season. This will absolutely, I would tend to think, unless he does something pretty incredible tomorrow, this will likely be a drop week for John Badeford, likely to be a drop week for Everett Paddock. You've now taken one of those cards away. Ted Burns, Graham Sanders, even Chris Preston coming home fourth. You're really going to be able to use this as a springboard instead of having to look at it as something that maybe it's not the result that you want to carry in for the points championship. But all right, boys, it is time for us to get out of here. It has been a fantastic night of racing. Simon Sykes getting the win in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Charles Teed getting the win in the Grid Rival Ezra IndyCar Series. And how about a 10th and a half separating the winners in second place over those two races tonight? My God, was this a fun night of racing. But it is time for us to go. We will see you all on Monday night for the Silver Crown Championship. That is going to be wild. We're doing the twisties and heading to Watkins Glen. We cannot wait. That is going to be a ton of fun. For James Watson, Sebastian Kinder, and everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a ton of fun hanging out with you tonight. We will talk to you on Monday. Have a fantastic night, everybody.